ESG has really come up as a key area in terms of our intervention. So we have social return on investment is an impact assessment tool that can be used especially when you're looking for data to report on. Then we all know about ISO, the ISO certification. Then there is ESG. ESG now, as I said, comes under the tools because then you are able to use it to assess your performance. Then the greenhouse gas protocol comes in now on climate change specifically and how you can measure your carbon footprint, oversee your emissions and the measures that you can take in your organization to reduce that and sometimes even benefit from things like the RED Plus and the carbon emissions markets.
We are still at the very linear levels of our economy, where the model is that we are drawing from the environment, so virgin material, introduce it into the value chain through the production processes and the likes, then sell it to our consumer. James is the producer of this glass. And Klaus comes and buys it from me as a producer. I now need to follow up with Klaus to find out that after he's utilized the glass packaging, where is he disposing it of?
I am looking at that child maybe in the hardship areas, the arid and the semi-arid areas that will wake up and say, because NCBA supported the implementation of ESG, today it is raining in our areas and we can actually have food.
So can we say, since we are doing ESG under different topics, can we use these forums to now start streamlining, okay, what is important in the Kenyan context?
For us, the challenge is I have my glass bottle, I have my organic waste, my inorganic, put it all together. And even if I segregate, whoever is coming to collect will just mix it all. At the end of the day, whatever we are going to discuss here and implement, the consumer does not even understand.
So this ESG training has been very, very insightful. When I came here, I wanted to know how to practically implement ESG. And from the learnings and the discussions and the presentation of the case studies, I was able to understand what practical parts of it what we can do to actually implement it. It's a good thing to know that we are doing quite a number of things, but this has been very useful to know what steps to take next.
Cynthia Wainaina from Chandarana Food Plus. I'd like to thank KEPRO for this wonderful engagement that we've had. The discussions are really pertinent with what we're facing as a country. Waste management is a crucial aspect that we really need to discuss. I've loved the engagement, the participation from various people. And I think one key takeaway is on company responsibility. We're not just reporting, but we also need to implement these actions.
Today we've just had a very impactful session on ESG. This is the first we're doing around East Africa. In Denmark and Europe, ESG is already becoming mainstream, but it's rather new in East Africa. So it's been exciting for us to hear from members of KEPRO today if they're already working on this. And the beauty of this is many of them are working on it because they're very environmentally conscious, but maybe they don't know about the frameworks yet. So it's actually not something they're starting from scratch. People are already working with it. So we are today doing a first out of a series on ESG trainings, so people can reach out to the KEPRO Secretary, but also Danish industry.
Today's workshop has been quite informative. I've realized we engage in a lot of ESG. For example, the support we give the community in providing water and supporting the football teams and educating our staff on financial literacy. But my biggest takeaway is that we need to have this in one particular format, a report that we can share with stakeholders, with customers, with employees, and anybody who is interested in our growth and who is affected by our activities. What I would like KEPRO to do is to provide us with opportunities to engage like-minded organizations in terms of investment, in terms of capacity building, and opportunities in the ESG sphere. Therefore, it is to help us have incentives which can enhance our organization's buy-in into ESG measures and help us transform our trajectory.
So today's session was essentially just trying to demystify the concept of ESG, and of course trying to see how can we be able to curate and formulate adaptable yet localized ESG reporting frameworks. In terms of future outlook, the intention is to sustain this conversation. Initial phase was towards creation of awareness, but increasingly we are now going to be seeing more tailored conversations towards getting practical solutions and practical frameworks for our local businesses and SMEs in Kenya. Thank you. So in the context of ESG reporting and embedding of ESG and other circular business solutions to day-to-day operations for our businesses is quite critical. We are seeing a transition for most businesses and of course from a regulatory framework, this being a critical requirement for most businesses, whether multinational or even at local context.